Don't dream it, be it. This is one of the most important phrases in the 1975 film Rocky Horror Picture Show. My personal interest and connection to Rocky Horror runs deep. I was introduced to it as a child by my dad, who for all intents and purposes is a fairly average man, with a wife and kids. He's not the kind of person many people expect to enjoy something as campy and unapologetically queer as Rocky Horror, which only serves to show how wide the appeal of the movie is. This was several years before I began to come to terms with who I am as a transgender man, but I remember seeing it was the first depiction in cinema I had seen of a man cross-dressing and not really fitting into either of the two gender norms society pressures us into. The core central phrase of "don't dream it, be it" stands out even more. In a life like Brad and Janet's, many people may fit into the box that they live in. But many more people just don't fit happily into a life like that, yearning to break free like a bird stuck in a cage. In this video, I will examine Rocky Horror Picture Show and the importance of being yourself. What is Rocky Horror Picture Show? In 1972, Richard O'Brien began working on a song titled Science Fiction Double Feature. It was full of many jokes. He presented it at EMI Studios' company Christmas party and was met with laughter and positive feedback. He continued to build upon the song as a sort of hobby and kept adding to it and exploring sexuality and science fiction through the song and dance. On June 19, 1973, a film adaptation was released featuring big names such as Meat Loaf and Tim Curry in the US. It was a flop, but later they noticed people were attending midnight showings in LA. So as an experiment, they started showing it at midnight, and it attracted a different, much campier, and far queerer crowd. Eventually, it became a smash hit among the outcasts of society. The film itself centers around the young engaged couple, Brad and Janet. They are a very traditional couple. At this point in the movie, they seem likely to fulfill the traditional Christian values of an atomic family later on and fit into a society they conform to. Early in the movie, they sing about how much they love each other, and damn it, Janet, and afterwards, driving to meet an old professor, it starts to rain him in and storm. Their car breaks down, and they run to a nearby mansion for help. They're met with a cast of characters in gaudy, campy outfits doing a ritual they call the Time War, and afterwards, Dr. Frankenfurter is revealed. He's dressed in fishnets, a corset, and bright makeup, including an iconic red lipstick. In this new mansion with the cast of monstrous and glamorous characters, the young couple's love is challenged. They are both eventually seduced by the androgynous Dr. Frankenfurter and have to rediscover their own sexualities. Later it is revealed that Frank is creating a monster of a man called Rocky Horror. He was built sheerly out of Frankenfurter's sexual desires with a muscular body and blonde hair. Towards the end of the show, Dr. Frankenfurter is betrayed by his close friends and killed. In the final scene, everyone is drifting in a pool singing the notable line, "Don't dream it, be it," before they all leave and go back to outer space, leaving the young couple's lives forever changed. This film explores the benefits of both embracing lust and not fitting into society's boxes. All of the aliens are unapologetically themselves. In another one of the verses of "Don't dream it, be it," another line stands out to me. Dr. Frankenfurter sings, "Give yourself over to absolute pleasure, swim in the warm waters of sins of the flesh." To me, this line is about understanding your own sexuality, even if it's outside of the norm, and accepting lust as a regular human emotion rather than something to be ashamed.
Queerness is not an orientation, but rather a way of being politically, socially, and sexually an outsider in a normative culture that would shame those individuals who dare deviate from preset moral and usually religious doctrine.
Rocky Horror Picture Show teaches us that it's alright to live outside of society's expectations and embrace lust and hedonistic behaviors. If you never explore who you are, then you'll remain trapped in whatever boxes you've been pushed into, especially for members of the LGBT community or any other marginalized group. This rings true. Until recently, being queer has been becoming more accepted, and we have much more representation in media like popular shows like Pose and Euphoria. Rocky Horror Picture Show came out in a time of sexual revolution, many years before Stonewall, but far ahead of the puritanical society that preceded it. Feminism was on the rise, along with increasing sexual freedoms, even resulting with the passage of Roe v. Wade, which protected women's access to abortions, until it was overturned. However, at the time, gay marriage was not yet legal, and cross-dressing was prohibited in many states, which led to strife between law enforcement and the queer community. Rocky Horror is an extremely progressive film for its time and showcased unashamed sexuality and embraced cross-dressing among its characters. A character who was born male and otherwise seems to consider himself a man, showing femininity proudly, was virtually unheard of at the time. This movie spoke a lot to the transgender community as well, with the breaking of gender norms. Rocky Horror is a film that teaches everyone stuck in the constraints of society that it's alright to break free from the stereotypes and be weird or an outcast.
Don't dream it. Be here.